Hello, and you are watching the £800 Agile Gorilla.
And we're going to show you the staircase.
Yes, this is the staircase, and I don't know, what is this, some sort of metaphor we're going to talk about?
I'm not sure it is, but you could probably find one if you dug around enough. We're going to talk about my friend Michael Hammond.
Yes.
He's an Agile guy, but he's much more than that. And he's someone I've known for about 15 years, actually, since I first started out on this journey. But I saw him give a talk recently. He's just published a book called Evolve Agility.
Okay.
A little plug there for
Evolve
Michael.
Agility.
Evolve Agility.
Sounds interesting.
But in the talk that he gave, Adventures with Agile, he was talking about management by indirection.
By indirection?
Indirection, yeah. It's a term that grabbed me, because programmers use that term a lot. We talk about pointers. One tiny piece of data points to a bigger piece of data.
Yep.
So indirection is a familiar term to us. So management by indirection is this idea that most management is by direction. Right?
Yep.
So a manager tells people what to do, and they go off and do it.
Yep.
So they create, they create the behaviours and actions that are required just by sort of directing people. So management by indirection is this idea of a manager being a catalyst or a space creator, an environment creator. I use the term gardener myself sometimes, and that seems to resonate with people, right? So management by indirection is to create the space that generates the behaviours rather than telling people to do the behaviours.
Right.
So there's a level of indirection in there.
Okay.
And so the manager is not concerned with telling people what to do, but only with creating an environment where people will do what they need to do because it feels like the right thing.
Right.
So it's much more, obviously a much more respectful model.
Yes.
But just in hearing that term indirection, of course, and the term direction, we think, well, our organisations are full of directors, aren't they? They have lots of directors. That's a high position to be in an organisation. It's not the highest. It's a little bit above middle management.
Yeah.
And
so you're asking for indirectors, are you?
Well, wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, instead of having directors in your organisation, director of software engineering, we'd have an indirector of software engineering. Wouldn't that be cool?
Well, it would be, but I can just imagine how it would go down with people that already struggle with concepts like self-organisation.
Or Scrum Master.
Oh, yeah. We've not even got
what's your
past
job?
that
Is
yet.
I'm an indirector. What do you indirect?
But is this, so when we talk about the discomfort of these words, though, just taking a step back, because I find this fascinating. People have to relinquish control, right, for things to emerge. You've got to let go of control. And people may not want to do that because there's a fear that they won't come through and deliver.
Sure.
And what's wrong with that? Well, it means that we'll fail. Well, what's wrong with that? Failure's not an option. Do you see what I'm saying? So
I do, but at the same time, I think I don't really and honestly expect people to start using that terminology. But what it does is it jolts you. Right?
Yep.
It gets you to ask yourself, perhaps, why am I calling myself a director? What does that mean? So how can you be an agile director?
Yeah.
How can you be a director in an agile organisation? Because the term director means to direct, which means, in our context, usually to tell other people what to do.
Yes.
Right. That is what a director does. He directs people. Film directors do the same thing. They direct the actors.
But what about people that will argue, and I've had this a few times, context. So they'll say this, if the house is on fire, maybe it is the time to direct them to the exit.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? And, someone's on the top of a cliff. I'm not going to say, oh, how does the fall look to you?
Yeah, there's context, right? But how many times in our organisations is there a fire and the director of software engineering is the person that directs people out of the building? It's a different job.
No,
right?
I'm with you. Maybe, and what I'm getting at is people, and I find it, I don't want to sound too strong, I think it's insincere. So what I'll try and do is, they will poo-poo or say this is BS, self-organisation, because we need situational leadership. But like you said, how often do we have those emergency situations?
It should be rare.
Well,
if we have them, we should be finding ways to not have them.
Right, and we can't be governed by exceptions.
No.
Right. No. But I'm with you. It's not. We're not saying. You're not saying. Let's call people indirectors.
I'd like it, but I don't think it will happen. But it gets people to think about what does these job titles mean.
Yeah.
We call then we have vice presidents and we have chiefs of this and chiefs of that.
Yeah.
All this language is oppressive language. It's oppressive language, and if we're trying to change the way we do work, the way we show up for work, and the way we operate, we have to change some of the words that we use, I think. And just thinking of yourself rather than, even if your job title is Director of Software Engineering, think of yourself as an indirector of software engineering, and see how it changes your behaviour.
Interesting.
That's all.
Yeah, so really what we're coming back to is language, and for those people who say these things are just words, I think words have a really big impact on our identity.
I think they do too, yeah.
You know.
The organisation that talks about firefighting all the time is the organisation who is constantly in a state of panic. You know,
Right, right.
It drives the language drives the behaviour to a great extent.
Yes.
If we change our language, often we will change our behaviour.
And that can make many people feel uncomfortable. Because it often means
You know what?
looking to ourselves.
Yeah, I'd be uncomfortable. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much mostly uncomfortable.
You feeling safe right now?
No.
No,
I'm
good.
I feel awkward doing this. Actually.
Yeah.
I felt like we were going to do a thing walking down the stairs and then the stairs ended and we had to keep talking. So it's time to shut up, Jen.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Really? All right. Here's to all you indirectors out there. Good luck.
There it is. Well, okay, something different. Let us know what you think about indirection in the comments field, and thank you.
Yep. Cheers.
Bye-bye.